Steph, Dan Wicke with the Los Angeles Times. Congratulations on MVP. You worked with the format of this game, trying to figure out ways to improve the competitiveness. I guess, having experienced it, what did you make of it? And maybe even to pull back bigger picture, like what should it be in a perfect world? Like, what should the competition level be for this game to be at its best?
I mean, I did have some input and a lot of conversations with Adam and the rest of the leadership on where we were last year. We needed a change, needed some new life, new juice in the game, something kind of unexpected. What that answer was collaborative effort to, I think, one, condense the amount of time you're actually playing so that it gives us more clarity on, like, all right, if so we can raise our level of competition and keep it fun for everybody. I think that was a big part of it. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation around the fourth team and the Rising Stars, and the All-Star experience on Sunday is very sacred, and you have to work your way into that. But I think it was a good step in the right direction to reinvigorate the game in some way. And then you tinker with it again next year and see, what changes you can make. I don't want to compare it to any other era because the world has changed, life is different, the way people consume basketball is different. So it's not going to look like it used to, but it can still be fun for everybody. And I think I had fun. Our team had fun. That's kind of all that matters.
On your left, third row, Ann.
Hey, Steph, Ann Killian, San Francisco Chronicle. You've had a pretty intense first half of the season. You had a very intense weekend I've seen your schedule, pretty crazy. I'm just wondering, what was the highlight? What's your level of exhaustion, and what do you plan to do for the next couple of days when you finally get a little time off?
The hosting experience was unbelievable. I'm not going to complain about being tired or exhausted. This is an honor and a blessing to be able to celebrate and share this beautiful Bay Area that's been a part of my life for the last 16 years, and the basketball history and culture that's here, and the amazing fans that are here, and the impact that the game being here has had on both cities. So it was awesome from start to finish. And, I mean, the highlight is obviously the game. That's what everybody's looking forward to. But it brought a lot of my people together that have helped me along the way or been a part of the journey, and I got to kind of reflect a little bit, and I'm excited to get back to work next week. I'll definitely get away and take a little catch up on some sleep, but everything kind of went exactly as it should, and it's a 10 out of 10 experience for sure hosting the game here.
Dave, over here on the second row.
Steph, Dave McBenamin, ESPN. You won one of those trophies in Cleveland a few years back. Scored a bunch of points, hit a bunch of threes, a traditional game format. There might not have been like a obvious MVP choice today, but you kind of get it going in that finale. What was that run like for you? You hit the half-court shot, and then it looked like your teammates started looking for you.
Yeah, it was one of those kind of little flurries, just having fun. The half-court shot, I was trying to find an opportunity. I was going to take one at some point. Jokic was picking me up at half-court, which is hilarious. He forced it wasn't even an 8 seconds, it was like a 12-second violation. But, like, again, the stories kind of write themselves, just having a moment where you get the crowd into it and do what I love to do on the floor. The format doesn't allow for, like, a strong storyline to build, which is all right because there was also other things going on during the game that were important as well, like paying homage and giving honor to Kenny, Shaq, Chuck, and Ernie for, them representing the game of basketball in their way for, 3 decades. And, it felt like the game kind of got in the way a little bit, which was different. But we could, keep the fun going, keep the intensity going. And, end up with a trophy, which is pretty cool.
Back left on the aisle, Tim.
Yes, Steph, Tim Kawakami, San Francisco Standard. Did you, whether it was the format or because you're the guy here or the crowd's cheering for you, did you feel pressure to actually win this? Did you feel the competitive level? Did you talk to the other guys, say, let's show a little bit more competitive energy than we have maybe in recent years?
Blonde hair. Yes and no. Like, I was just riding high on the energy this whole weekend because it's here, and you want the product to be at a level that, again, is fun for us as players. You feel a little bit of energy in the crowd and know everybody who's watching on TV is tuning in for a reason, and you want to give them a show. I kind of feel like that all the time, but I had some other guys, Kyrie yesterday at practice, when we came in right before we took the floor, he's like, yo, we playing this year? And I was like, yeah. He's like, all right. And you saw him, he was guarding Donovan Mitchell, physical. He was, short spurts playing, keeping the intensity going and all that. And so that it all mattered. And everybody was professional tonight. Everybody showed up, did their job, and did right by the game. And like I said, it's a good step in the right direction, I felt like.
6th row on the right.
Hey, Steph. Aurelia for Open Court. I'm kind of curious to know, because you said you also kind of were looking for the half-court shot. Now we had with you and Dame one of the greatest shooters in one team. So I was wondering, do you kind of also think about, I want to take a shot, and also that Dame gets his maybe 3 shots, and do you kind of think about that you both of, or is it just you go for it?
You just go for it. The cool part, like some of these stories kind of write themselves. Dame is from Oakland. He's represented, Brookfield, where he's from. Like, he is Oakland. And playing in Portland, playing in Milwaukee, every time he comes back here, he wants to put on a show, and he made the shot to end the first game and got to do his Dame time thing. I had my little moment in the second game. The defending champ, JT, got us going early in the second game and gave us a lot of life, hit some shots. So everybody had their moment and chimed in on the fun, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Ron over here on the 3rd row.
Steph, Ron Kochick, San Francisco Chronicle. Was there any moment when Wemby does something and you find yourself thinking a 7-3 guy's not supposed to be able to do that?
Everything he does.
and
everything.
To go along with that, sort of, if you look into the future, to think of him as the anchor of this game 5, 10, 15 years from now, what's that going to look like, given how unique he is?
He took it serious. He was playing hard. He was showing his unique skill set all across the board. It was very similar to like Giannis a couple years ago when he was dunking everything and sprinting up and down the floor. So you make the game what you want it, and everybody has a choice to do that. And I like it being in the hands of guys like Wemby who talk the right talk and show up the right way and understand what this is about.
In the back, towards the center.
Lauren Jones, Lojo Media. 2 quick ones. The first is, why was it important for you guys to include Oracle and just pay homage to have some of the events there this weekend? And second is, of the young all-stars that you've played with, who excites you the most about leaving this game in good hands?
I mean, if you've been a part of our journey and understood the highs and the lows of everything we've experienced as a Golden State Warrior franchise, Oracle is front and center as the symbol of that. It's such a unique place. Oakland's such a unique city, unique town, and the idea that we had an opportunity to pay homage to the 47 years that we played in that building and the memories that we had. I got real emotional yesterday going back. I've been back a couple times before, but not with a crowd and not with a basketball floor on the ground and being able to kind of reminisce. And it was very special for sure. I know there's a lot of talk like we should play a game there. I like that idea. But Oracle holds a special place in my heart and a lot of fans who've been a part of this journey too. So it was really cool.
Marcus over here on the right.
Marcus Thompson with The Athletic. Steph, you, as someone who's so invested in Oakland children, what do you like about Dame's story, being somebody who, matriculated from that into what he's become?
Just his level of pride and passion and understanding. He has a huge story to tell when he comes back. Yesterday he was talking about some of the gems he dropped at his school that he went and visited, and you could tell he's just about inspiring people and being real with them about what life throws at you and how to get through it, and being authentically yourself. I know he gave some wisdom yesterday in the press conference about what he would have told his younger self about listening more. All that stuff is impactful and it matters, and he's as real as they come in that respect. to the point where they don't even say he wears number 0, he wears the letter O. Like, that's real.
Towards the middle on the left.
Steph Jello from World Journal. So congratulations. So you have had so many big moments in your career. So where does this MVP rank for you?
I don't know. This is just a special weekend all the way around. This is very symbolic of the entire journey. I know we have a lot. I hope we have a lot to accomplish on the court, and not ending the journey anytime soon. But again, for me and from my vantage point, having played here for 16 years, and this is the only place that I've played, it was just a great celebration of basketball in this area, and this is pretty cool to have too.
Right over here on the front row.
Hi, Steph. Tristi Rodriguez, NBC Sports Bay Area. First off, congrats on MVP. So this is my first All-Star experience, and I got the easy job because I went around talking to players and asked them to speak about you and your impact on the game. What does it mean to just knowing your basketball journey from where you started, 16 seasons in the league now? What is it like to have that league-wide respect from your peers?
That's the most important thing. Fans, your media's opinion is important. The fans' opinion is important, but your counterparts and your colleagues who understand the sacrifice it takes to do what we do at a high level, the longevity of it, the way you handle yourself, the impact that you had. I appreciate anytime somebody tells me what them watching me play basketball has done for them in some sort of way. So I don't ever take any of that for granted, and does mean you're getting old when they start to flip it on. I remember watching you when you were doing such and such, and I was in middle school, and I love hearing those type of stories.
All the way in the back on the left, right.
Steph Alvarez, ABC 7. I'm curious now that this is over, now you get ready for the second half, just your energy level based on the trade and where your team's at about making this push and making a run in the playoffs.
I'm excited. I got Draymond on the telecast, guaranteeing we're winning the championship. I love expectations and having something to play for, so he's lighting the fire for sure. But all jokes aside, I think we finished the last 4 games 3-1, and we have a lot to figure out still. I think 27 games or so left to make a push. All we want is just to get into a playoff series and have a fighting chance to be a tough out and against anybody in the West. And we have a good opportunity in front of us to do that. So I'm looking forward to the challenge, and it's basically a playoff game every single night, and that usually brings the best out of you.
Second row, right in the center.
Steph, you surprisingly only have 11 All-Star games to your name. With LeBron having 21...
Dang, your expectations are insane, brother.
Does that play on your mind, though? Do you want to play longer to accumulate more All-Star caps in your illustrious career?
Every year you get acknowledged in this way is important. I get Bron's got, 21 or something, and Katie's got like 16 probably, 15, something like that. It's wild to think about where I came from, that is something that you're like, I'm surprised,
no, it's great.
I'm surprised you only
more.
have, I haven't heard only 11 in my entire life, so I appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
On the front, on your left.
Steph, how you doing? Kevin Williams, Maroon Tiger, Morehouse College. You've been a strong advocate for HBCUs, including funding golf programs. How do you feel seeing the league amplify HBCU voices during this All-Star weekend?
The HBCU Classic is a great part of the weekend. It shines a light on some amazing colleges and universities that are, in the business of providing amazing opportunity and have for years. And it just adds a different element to the weekend where I got to cross paths with, right before our practice, some kids that were in the hallway, they were about to play, and they pulling their phone out. They forgot about all their scouting reports. They forgot about all their prep. All they want to do is just take a picture and enjoy that moment. And it's about shining a light on them and the talent and opportunity that's there. So hopefully that is a part of All-Star Weekend every year in the future.
We're going to do 2 more on your left, and then on the second row towards the center.
Steph, you're an aficionado of Warriors history. How does it feel to be MVP, given that Rick Barry was the first MVP back in 1967 at the Cow Palace? And what does that mean just for you to have that honor and, like you said, to see the franchise where it's come from?
It it's still surreal. I got to see Rick tonight, and but before I won the award. But I understand the history of this being the third weekend that we've hosted it, and from the Cow Palace to Oracle to now Chase. The legends that have played for this franchise, and being amongst them with certain accomplishments like this, and again, it's all about just celebrating the journey. We're not here without that generation and every generation since that has paved the way for us to play this game and have fun at the highest level, and I'm very appreciative of it.
Last one, second row in the center.
Hi, Steph. Right here. Tony Cañameras from Mundo Deportivo, Spain. We're talking about, you faced today international stars. Talking about international stars, there was in particular one that you said that inspired so much your game, Juan Carlos Navarro. Well, do you think that the way how he inspired your game has kind of become a decisive factor for you to become the greatest shooter of all time? Thank you.
Every athlete that I got to see shoot the ball at a very high level, with Juan Carlos being a very unique one. I hit a one-legged three today, and that's what he used to do. So I emulated that pretty nicely tonight, which shout out to him.
Have you ever talked to him about shooting or?
No, I just watched. I've met him once, but I just watched a lot of film and highlights. And like I said, there's so many shooters that have inspired me and impacted me the way that I play, from my dad to Reggie to Steve Nash. Juan Carlos is on that list. That's the cool part about basketball, giving back to the younger generation, and then we kind of come into our own.
Thank you. Thank you, Steph.